Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and today I am here to discuss with all of you about the recent emotional statement that Will Friedle put out regarding why he won't be returning to the role of Terry Mcginnis if there was ever a Batman Beyond revival series. Now, just like all of you who are long-time fans, when you think of Batman Beyond, you think of Will Friedle, who voiced Terry Mcginnis slash Batman for 3 seasons of the show from 1999 to 2001, and he also voiced the character for 2000's Batman Beyond Return of the Joker animated movie, and he also made a number of guest appearances in the DCAU in shows such as The Zeta Project, Static Shock, and Justice League Unlimited, and he just recently made a small cameo in one of the Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths animated movies. So, like all of you, I have been wanting and hoping for more Batman Beyond content, maybe a fourth season, or a brand new series, or an animated movie, or a brand new game. Just something of Batman Beyond. But with the recent passing of the legendary Kevin Conroy, who sadly we lost back in 2022, the possibilities of a Batman Beyond revival series, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And Will Friedle just put out a statement about why we probably won't be seeing any more Batman Beyond content, at least as far as the DCAU is concerned. This is what he had to say. If you asked me that question 3 years ago, the answer would be, oh my god, yes, get me in front of the microphone now. Now that Kevin's gone, I don't know if I could do it again. I think they would need to recast both roles. Being Terry and not having him answer as Bruce, I don't think I could do it. Now, this statement that Will put out is very similar to the one that Mark Hamill put out when he announced that he had retired from voicing the Joker. And his statement was as follows: they would call and say they want you to do the Joker. And my only question was, is Kevin Batman? If they said yes, I would say, I'm in. We were like partners. We were like Laura and Hardy. Without Kevin there, there doesn't seem to be a Batman for me. And I completely agree with both Mark and Will's statements because Kevin Conroy, for everyone who knows this, he was the legendary voice of Batman slash Bruce Wayne, and he voiced the character for many years, for over the course of 3 decades, from Batman the Animated Series to the new Batman Adventures to Batman Beyond, of course, to Static Shock, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, and a number of other DC animated projects, and of course, most of the computer games for PlayStation and other great consoles. So, I can completely see where Will's coming from because if they were going to do a Batman Beyond revival, it wouldn't sit well with me to not have Kevin Conroy being part of it. It just wouldn't feel right. And, I completely agree with Will's comments. If they're going to do a Batman Beyond revival, they will just be better off just recasting both Terry and Bruce. It would just make perfect sense. But there is one thing I think they should do. I think they should do a Batman Beyond animated movie set maybe after Epilogue. So have Bruce Wayne passed away into his mid 90s, and Terry is now much older. He's coming up to 30, and he's got to cope with the fact that Bruce Wayne is no longer around to mentor him and guide him in his fight against crime. And throughout that movie, we could have something like Terry learning to cope without Bruce Wayne being around. So, in a way, it's kind of like losing his dad all over again. And I think that would be a great way to not only wrap up the Batman Beyond saga, within the DCAU, but also pay tribute to the man that really started all of this back in the early 90s. That was, of course, Kevin Conroy. I think that's something they should consider. But if they don't, that's fine. I completely respect that. And quite frankly, I don't blame Will. I don't blame Mark Hamill either. You know, you can't really have one without the other. You know, he's the man, really. You know, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill were intertwined and connected to Batman and the Joker for decades. Will Friedle and Kevin Conroy, they were both connected and, you know, locked in with both Terry Mcginnis and Bruce Wayne. And as I said, you just can't have one without the other. And it is quite sad, really, because I was telling a friend earlier, we're seeing so much of our childhood disappearing before our very eyes. And, you know, it's truly an end of an era, you know, not having our heroes around with us. It just really hurts. But like I said, I fully respect Will's comments about not returning to the role of Terry McGinnis. It just wouldn't feel right just having him there and no Kevin Conroy. But maybe do what I suggested, do an animated movie and pay tribute to the memory of Kevin Conroy. I think that would be a great way to officially wrap up the Batman Beyond saga. That's just my opinion. But at least with Will's statements, at least this way, this kind of puts those questions to bed about, oh, will we see a Batman Beyond revival? Breaks my heart to say we won't see that. I'm not saying we won't ever see any more Batman Beyond stuff. We probably will, but just not with those guys. And I'm fine with that. As long as we can get good voice actors to voice both Terry and Bruce, then that's fine with me. But as far as like the DCAU, no, that should just remain as it is. Shouldn't be touched. Not at all. So that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. How do you guys feel about Will's decision to not return to the role of Terry McGinnis? Do you respect his decision? Do you agree with his comments about Kevin Conroy not being part of it wouldn't be the same? Do you think he's right? Do you think they should recast the roles of Terry and Bruce if there was a Batman Beyond revival series? Or would you like to see maybe a one off animated movie where they pay tribute to the memory of Kevin Conroy? Or do you think they should just leave it as it is? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.